UTPA women's soccer head coach Glad Bugariu is back from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We check in on his experience as their national team head coach. UTPA volleyball is back on the court under the direction of their new head coach. And with baseball and men's tennis at home over the weekend, we check in with two of the biggest supporters in the stands. This is Bronc Country. Hey everyone, and welcome to Bronc Country. I'm Jonah Goldberg. UTPA women's soccer head coach Glad Bugariu earned a great honor recently, being named head coach of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines women's soccer national team. You may have kept up with Coach Bugariu through his blog at UTPABronx.com. Now it's time to hear directly from him about his experiences.
I had the opportunity to work as the national women's coach there. I spent a couple weeks preparing their team for the Windward Islands football tournament. You know, it's a developing footballing country. I'm fascinated by countries that are advancing in women's football and making an investment in that sport. You know, I'm very familiar with the Caribbean, having worked there before. So when the opportunity came along, I was fortunate enough to be able to be in a position to go down there and help out.
It was the third time Coach Bugariu has worked on a national team staff, having previously served as a men's soccer assistant coach with Grenada and the technical director for the U.S. Virgin Islands. But this experience, his first as a national team head coach, will help as head coach here at UTPA.
Well, I mean, every time you go somewhere and work with different type coaches and different backgrounds, you get to share ideas, share training methods, share philosophies. And it's always interesting to see kind of what people's views are. It's a global game, soccer, and when you're able to mesh cultures and mesh personalities, you're able to develop new ideas. So for me, it's just part of my personal development, my personal outlook on the game, and I'm always learning, so it's all part of it.
Coach Bugariu got back on Thursday, came back to the office on Friday, and on Saturday, led the Broncs into their first spring exhibition match, coming away with a 2-0 victory at Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Andrea Barrera and Hadley Tucker with the Broncs goals. Zinnia Hennig had an assist on Tucker's goal.
It's not so much about winning or losing, it's about the performance, but of course it's always nice to score some goals and win a game. But we really weren't that concerned with the result, but we were very happy with the fact that the players played well. They were able to be very flexible in their positions, and we learned some things about them.
The soccer team certainly not the only fall teams that have been busy this spring, as UTPA volleyball is back on the court under the direction of head coach Todd Lowery for the first time. Romeo Villarreal has the story.
Volleyball has started spring practice under their new head coach, Todd Lowery. While there were some awkward periods as the players adjusted to the new coach and his practice regimen, Coach Lowery says the players have made great strides toward adapting to him and the way he runs practice.
You know, that first week and a half or so was kind of awkward as we got to get to know each other. But now I think everything's kind of flowing in the right direction. We're getting that rapport with the students, and they're starting really to respond to kind of our style of coaching, and they're kind of seeing what we talked about. You know, we had that first meeting, and you could say whatever you want, but until they see it every day that that's actually the person you are and that's your style, and until they see those things, they don't necessarily start to respond to them until that time.
At first it was a little more surprising. We're like, are you sure? But you know what, I think as we're seeing the results and we're changing, we're getting a lot more excited about this season, and it's giving us tenfold so much more confidence. I think it's going to affect our season in a very positive way.
Among the biggest changes to the new practice system are an increased importance on physical endurance and pushing your limits both physically and mentally.
Practice is a lot more demanding. I think it's great for us. You know, we come in early, we're setting up the nets, we're held accountable this season a lot more. And I think just pushing our bodies mentally and physically, and I think the mental training has been focused on a lot more this season. I think that's going to take us a really long way.
Big thing that we're working on changing right now is just the level of physical fitness and conditioning of the team. I don't think we were in great shape when we came in the spring, and so we've really been working hard on changing that, and basically just the overall mentality of doing things the right way and getting a little bit more mentally tough and just that attitude of wanting to work hard every day that we're in the gym.
Reporting from the UTPA Fieldhouse for Bronc Country, this is Romeo Villarreal.
Bronx on 3, 2, 3. Bronx.
Every collegiate athletics program has certain fans who will always be there cheering their hearts out no matter what. UTPA's got a few of those. Last year we introduced you to the Von Indies. Coming up on Bronc Country, you'll meet John Sargent and Linda Matthews.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
Told you how the UTPA women's basketball team won a program record 12 home games last week. One thing that helps a team be successful at home? Strong fan support. John Sargent and Linda Matthews have been attending Bronx games across all sports for years. They stand, they cheer, they're loud, and they're proud. Isa Maricendez has the story.
It began without much enthusiasm.
Went to some games, but weren't gigantically excited about it.
Transformed into a passion.
We scream Bronx a lot.
And is now a mission.
The Bronx spirit, or the UTPA spirit, is actually pretty high for the people who come to the games.
When John and Linda come to a game, they have earned the title Superfan.
And they have a lot of work to do, but they still make time to come to the games. And I think probably that means something to the players.
For these two, being a superfan is not a choice.
I think just for myself, I have a hard time doing anything just a little bit. I go into everything full-blown enthusiasm. When we started going to the games, it started reminding me of my college days back at University of Virginia. And so I became kind of a big cheerleader, the person that was dancing, the person that was clapping.
You do that? You do all those things?
Good.
Of course, as educators, John and Linda were able to learn something about being superfans from the classroom.
Having student athletes in class and seeing the types of individuals they are, and seeing the types of discipline that the coaches kind of inspire.
John stands back behind the home team's bench. Linda, she dances, she smiles, she waves, she takes pictures.
John and Linda love coming to cheer on the Bronx. They can be seen at volleyball, baseball, and basketball games, but often they feel as if their cheers are not loud enough.
What I'd hope is that people will start saying, wow, we've got a good team. And then there'll just be a little delay in people coming, I hope. But our athletes can give so much to the community, and so that's one of the reasons I see these stands and I want them full, because I want them to get what I get when I go to a game.
These community builders realize change is coming, and Bronx pride will transform into support for the Vaqueros.
I think the change is difficult for everybody. You can talk about the Bronx or Vaqueros or this or that or the other, but I'm really more interested in the student athlete when they're playing on Saturday, doing well.
Change is difficult, but sometimes small efforts can help build acceptance, appreciation, and even excitement.
I'm mentally trying to get prepared, so just yesterday a little thing I did was on my iPad I changed my signature, just says Go Bronx at the bottom, but I added Go Bronx, and then right next to it says Viva Vaqueros.
John and Linda have transformed from out-of-towners to superfans, from Bronx to Vaqueros, all the while building friendships, community, and some great dance moves. Reporting for Bronc Country, this is Isamar Resendes.
John and Linda were in attendance as UTPA baseball hosted its first WAC home series of the year, taking on Seattle, and Scott Mercer flashed the leather early. Now that play was pretty good, but check this one out. Mercer shows range to both sides. The Broncs escape the inning. On to the third, and Blake English on cruise control. 3 no-hit innings to start the game. Bottom of the inning, the Broncs have the bases loaded for the most dangerous hitter on the planet. Logan Landon comes through. Broncs up 1-0. Next batter, Jacob Huckabee grounds into a double play, but of more importance to the Broncs is that Cole Lonkar scores. Broncs up 2-0. Now the Broncs are down 6-2 in the 7th, but there's that man again. Landon delivers. Brings home Lonkar from third. Broncs within 3. On to the 9th. Broncs down to their final out. Now down 6. But Landon decides it's not over yet. 3 for 5 day to raise his average up to 476. 2 batters later, the bases are loaded for Mercer. Bang! 2 runs come home. Next up, Corey Davis. And he keeps the hit parade going. Caps off a 4 for 4 night. Gets the Broncs within 9-6. But that was also the final score.
Coach told us that the pitching wasn't there and the defense wasn't there, but our offense kind of picked up for it, but just wasn't enough to get us a win.
Offensively, I feel good at the plate. I'm seeing the ball really well, and it's nice to see other guys starting to do the same. Everything's going to turn around at some point. Sooner or later, the pitching's going to pick up, just like the hitting. Took a while for the hitting to pick up. But personally, I feel good. I feel like as long as I stick to my approach, that the hits will keep coming, and hopefully I can produce and help get us some wins later on in the season.
Tonight, offensively, we were good. We had some really good at-bats, some hard contacts. But tonight, unfortunately, our pitching wasn't up to par, and neither was our defense. And when you don't pitch and you don't play defense, it's gonna be tough to win.
On to Saturday. Broncs down 9-0 out of the gate, but chipping away early. Back-to-back RBI groundouts in the second by Manny Laredo and Scott Mercer. Broncs within 7. Next inning, Broncs down 8, but Logan Landon brings the Broncs back within 7 on a sacrifice fly. Now it's 15-3 in the 5th when Corey Davis draws a bases-loaded walk to force in a run. And then Victor Garcia Jr. with a fly ball dropped. 2 runs come in, but the Broncs fall 16-6 in 8 innings.
I was seeing the ball well, and I got a little bit of luck and a few ground balls here and there and used my speed, but there's still things I need to work on. But overall, it was an okay night.
We weren't locating. They did a really good job of hitting the ball. We didn't make some plays. They played a lot better than we did today.
Final game of the series. The Broncs could use some length out of Ryan Jackson, and they got it. Sends Griffin Andrechuk back to the dugout in the first. Jackson really took advantage of his defense as well. Second inning, 1 on with 1 out, and look at that catch by Jesus Garcia. Doubles up Brock Carpenter, inning over. Fourth inning, 2 on with 1 out when Victor Garcia Jr. starts it, and Jackson covers the bag in time to receive the finishing throw. Next inning, runners on the corners with 1 out, and that's going to go around the horn. The Broncs turned 3 double plays in the game. Jackson 7 strong innings. For the Redhawks get a pair of 2-out runs in the 7th and 2 more in the 8th to beat the Broncs 4-0.
He threw really, really well. 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, and the 2 runs that he gave up were really just chinks. One down the right field line, softly hit, and another one in center field, softly hit. But like I told them, when we're struggling like we are now, that's what's going to happen. It seems like we don't get any breaks, and the other team gets the break. So it's just a matter of making sure that we keep grinding, we keep working, because the entire season won't go this way.
Just this game, I was keeping all my pitches low. The last few games, I've been keeping them up. Everything's been up, but this game, everything was working. Just keeping them at the knees really helped me out.
So here's a look at the WAC standings. The Broncs actually lost their first 2 WAC series last year as well, before catching fire and winning their final 7. If history is to repeat itself, the road starts this weekend with a 3-game series at Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon has a very good team. As you said, they can swing it. They also have some pretty good arms. We're going to have to play better, but again, it's a matter of just kind of grinding this, this little lull in the season, and it happens. But I'd rather, like I told them, I'd rather us be playing and not getting the breaks early than later on in the year.
UTPA men's tennis had a great weekend while hosting the first ever WAC cluster. Next on Bronc Country, highlights from a strong start to conference play. Conference play isn't a guaranteed part of tennis in all conferences due to travel and other considerations. In order to change that, the WAC scheduled a pair of clusters this season in which every team comes to one venue to play 2 or 3 matches. The first one for men's tennis, right here at UTPA. Day 1, Broncs facing Grand Canyon, and the Broncs got off to a good start. Down 0-1 after doubles, Miguel Alvarez Hevia put the Broncs on the right track with a 6-1, 6-3 win at number 4. And then Hector Ramirez followed suit with a 6-2, 6-2 win at number 2, gives the Broncs the lead. Then, with the match tied at 2, Elliot Johnstone battled his way through a thriller. After dropping the first set 2-6, comes back to win the second set 7-6 after sneaking by with a tiebreaker 7-5, and in the third set, Johnstone took care of business. Winning 6-4, puts the Broncs back on top. And Juan Cruz Soria made it stand up. Faced a 3-setter of his own, but comes away with a 6-4, 5-7, 6-4 victory to clinch the Broncs' first WAC win, 4-3.
It was a big effort. They're a good team, and they're one of the top teams in the conference. So we knew coming out on day 1, we wanted to win day 1, and we had to go through them. We dropped the doubles point, but just responded with 4 guys competing their butts off in singles, secured the team win. So it's just the competitive effort, the energy and the spirit was outstanding, and that's what it takes to beat a good team like Grand Canyon.
Day 2, Broncs facing New Mexico State. We pick it up at doubles, where the Broncs just dominated. Juan Cruz Soria and Kobe Jansen team up for an 8-2 win at number 1. And then Miguel Alvarez Hevia and Elliot Johnstone clinched the point at number 3 with an 8-4 win. Then, just for good measure, Ethan Ammon and Hector Ramirez take an 8-5 victory at number 2, One Love Broncs. On the singles, the Aggies took courts 4, 5, and 6 in straight sets, but Soria responds by doing the same at number 1, 6-2, 6-3. Jansen won his match at number 3 in 3 sets, 6-2, 6-7, 6-1, but the Aggies get a win on court 2 to beat the Broncs 4-3.
Incomplete effort by the team in singles. That's all it was. So we had a few guys not compete at their best, and we addressed it because that's not our standard. So we addressed it, and they bounced back. But we have to have a complete team effort, and the guys know it. They weren't intentionally sabotaging themselves with the team, but it was part of it. It was a tough process to go through and to lose a tight one like that, especially after securing the doubles point.
That makes 2 4-3 scores. How about one more? Broncs closing out the weekend against Kansas City. Down 0-2 in the match when Juan Cruz Soria pulls out a 6-2, 6-2 win at number 1 singles. And then Kobe Jansen follows suit. Wins at court 2, 6-2, 6-3, match tied at 2. On to court 5. Ethan Ammon playing well, wins 6-3, 6-4. Now the match is tied at 3. So it all comes down to Miguel Alvarez Hevia at court 3. He lost his first set 3-6, but bounces back for a 6-3 win in set 2. And then in set 3, winner, winner, chicken cacciatore down on Sutherland Street dinner. 6-4 goes the final set. Broncs win 4-3.
Came down to 3 singles. We dropped the doubles point today and responded. Hector was not able to go in singles today, unfortunately, so the sports medicine room taking good care of him, getting him healthy. He'll be back with us soon. And so everybody moved up a spot, and guys got an opportunity to prove themselves to me and to each other, and they did it, man. They competed their butts off.
After one weekend of WAC play, Here's what the WAC men's tennis standings look like. The Broncs right near the top at 2-1. The next WAC cluster is set for April 10th and 11th at Chicago State. 3 Broncs qualified for the prestigious Texas Relays, and they came away with a pretty good showing, as Deandra Barroso and Geneva Anderson finished 37th and 57th in the 400-meter hurdles, an event that included 74 participants, while Cristina Santiago Bravo came in 18th out of 24 in the hammer throw. Trey Taylor had a big weekend at the Bobcat Invitational at Texas State, with a career best mark of 47.33 meters in the discus throw, the 3rd best throw in program history. That wasn't it for Taylor, who finished 4th in the javelin and 11th in the hammer throw. For the event, the Broncs posted 20 top 10 finishes, including a 2nd place finish by Jose Juan Wells in the 5,000 meter run, and a 3rd place showing by Geneva Anderson, Peter Gay Beckford, Elise Crowther, and Destiny Schultz in the 4x400 meter relay.
I think it was a great meet all around. We saw some great results from everyone across the event groups. Saw some fantastic throws, saw some great jumps, and saw some great running on the track. So it was just a great opportunity for us to get up there and compete against some great programs. So I'd say it went very well.
Want to help prepare our student athletes for excellence in life? Then join the Bronc Athletic Fund today. You can become a member of the BAF for just $50 a year. All of the proceeds go directly to student athlete scholarships, so visit BroncAthleticFund.com today to see how you can make a meaningful impact on the lives of student athletes. One way you can donate to the Bronc Athletic Fund is by participating in our 9th annual bait fishing tournament, better known as BAIT, on South Padre Island on April 11th. You could be one of 3 teams to win over $5,000 in cash prizes, including a $2,500 grand prize. You could also win a boat valued at more than $30,000 in the raffle. Visit UTPABronx.com/bait for more information.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
Here's what's coming up for the Broncs. Baseball heads to Grand Canyon for a 3-game WAC series. They're not alone, as women's tennis is Grand Canyon bound as well, competing in their 2nd WAC cluster. Men's tennis with 2 more home matches, welcoming in Laredo and UTSA. Track and field heads to Rice for the Victor Lopez Classic. Men's golf is off to Texas State, while women's golf is headed to UC Riverside. We want to thank you for stamping your passport in Bronc Country this week. Schedule another visit for next week. But until then, go Broncs!
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.